When the fog rolled in, the only witness was an empty swing and a discarded phone.
At 7:36 p.m., a pink phone was still glowing on the ground. The screen was cracked. The battery was at 72%, and the swing beside it was moving. By itself. Mia Carter was already gone. This is case file number 08, the empty playground. Let's rebuild the timeline exactly as it happened, minute by minute. Because in this case, the details don't just matter. They're the only thing we have. The park was Maplewood, a small neighborhood park with one swing set, one slide, and a basketball court that looked older than the town itself. Parents trusted it. Kids grew up in it. Nothing about the place suggested danger, but that night, Maplewood stopped feeling like a park. It felt like a stage. And someone knew exactly when to step onto it. T-minus 24 minutes. At 7:12 p.m., Mia left home with her older brother. He wasn't much older, old enough to think he was responsible, young enough to believe nothing could really happen in 2 blocks. The sky was still bright, but the sun was low. That awkward hour where street lights haven't fully turned on yet. The shadows stretch longer, and your eyes start missing things. They reached the playground at 7:18 p.m. Mia went straight to the swings. Her brother sat on a bench facing the swing set. Not perfect supervision, but close enough to feel safe. For 9 minutes, everything was ordinary. Chains creaked. Shoes scraped dirt. A breeze moved through the trees like someone whispering behind your back. T-minus 15 minutes. At 7:27 p.m., the brother's phone buzzed. A message. A friend calling. Him over to the basketball court on the far side of the park. 2 minutes, he told Mia. Stay where I can see you. She nodded. And that's the moment the case truly begins. Not when she disappears, but when someone realizes she can be taken. T-minus 13 minutes. He walked away. Now, here's what matters. The basketball court was still inside the park. Still close enough that he believed he could hear her. Still close enough that he believed he could turn his head and check. But the park had trees, and those trees made a clean line of sight impossible. And the park had sound. Wind, chains, distant cars. Sound that can hide a small noise, especially if it's fast. T-minus 9 minutes. At 7:31 p.m., a camera on the street corner caught a dark SUV rolling past the park entrance. The headlights were off. That's not a normal detail. Most people don't drive like that. Not at dusk. Not unless they're trying to blend into shadow. The SUV didn't park. It didn't stop. It moved slowly, as if the driver was watching, counting, waiting for the right second. T-minus 7 minutes. Back at the swing set, Mia was still there. We know that because of one witness. A woman walking her dog on the sidewalk said she heard a child laughing, a normal laugh. Not fear, not pain, just a short burst of joy, like the world was still safe. And then something else happened. The laughter stopped. Not fading away, not getting quieter with distance. It stopped like a switch was flipped. T-minus 6 minutes. This is where the story splits into possibilities, because nobody filmed what happened next. No clear camera angle. No clean evidence. Only fragments. A teenager on a bicycle later told police he saw a man near the swings. He said the man looked like a parent, but the man didn't have a child with him. He was just standing close enough to belong there. That's the tactic. In places built for children, adults can hide in plain sight by pretending to be normal. T-minus 5 minutes. The brother was still on the far side of the park, still distracted, still convinced that 2 minutes was harmless. And then there's the detail that chills every detective who reads this file. The swing kept moving. A swing does not move for long once a child jumps off. It slows, it drifts, it loses rhythm. But that night, witnesses described a steady motion, gentle, consistent. As if someone had pushed it recently. T-minus 3 minutes. 7:33 p.m. The street light near the parking area flickered once and went dark. Later, the city would claim it was a maintenance issue. A coincidence. But ask yourself this: how many coincidences can stack up before they stop being coincidence? A blind spot, a broken light, a slow SUV, headlights off. T-minus 2 minutes. Somewhere in that window, Mia's backpack came off her shoulder. When the family found it later, the strap was twisted like it had been pulled, not dropped neatly. Not forgotten. Pulled. Inside were ordinary things: crackers, a water bottle, a small toy figure with a scratched face, and the phone. Still on. T-minus 1 minute. If Mia had run away, she would have taken the phone. If she wandered off, she would have taken the phone. If she was hiding as a joke, she would have taken the phone. Leaving it behind suggests something else. Speed, control, and surprise. 0. At 7:35 to 7:36 p.m., the brother turned back toward the swing set. The seat was rocking gently. Mia was not there. He didn't panic immediately, because the brain doesn't accept horror in one bite. It takes it in slowly. It tries to turn it into something harmless. He called her name once. Then again, he checked the slide, the climbing frame, the tunnel under the platform. Nothing. And then he saw the backpack and the phone, and his body understood the truth before his mind did. At 7:36 p.m., the phone screen was still glowing on the ground, and the swing still moved. Now we switch from timeline to aftermath. At 7:49 p.m., police were called. At 8:05 p.m., the playground was taped off. Flashlights swept the grass. Neighbors gathered nearby. Parents held their children closer than usual. Dogs arrived. The dogs picked up Mia's scent at the swing set. They followed it across the park path to the entrance. Then the scent turned sharply toward the parking area, right into the darkness where the street light didn't work, and then the scent ended at the curb. Stopped, clean. As if Mia had climbed into a vehicle, or been placed into one, or carried. Detectives pulled security footage from nearby buildings, a convenience store on the corner, an apartment complex across the street, a traffic camera 2 blocks away. They built a map of movement. And still, the story had holes. Witnesses reported small details: a figure under the trees, a man near the swings who didn't belong, a vehicle moving too slowly to be innocent, but no one could give a face. And that is the cruelest part of modern crime. Cameras exist everywhere until they don't. And the moments that matter most always seem to happen in the spaces between lenses. Days passed. The town changed. Parents installed cameras. Street lights were repaired within 48 hours. The park went quiet. Not just quiet, haunted quiet. The swing set became a symbol, not of childhood, but of a moment the town could not take back, and the case stayed open. Because without a suspect, without a plate number, without a clear lead, time does what it always does. It covers everything in silence. So here is the question investigators still ask. Was Mia taken by an opportunist who got lucky, or by someone who planned the moment down to the minute? Because if this was planned, then the playground was never the location. It was the trap. What do you think happened to Mia Carter? If you have a theory, leave it in the comments. This is Silent Truth Archive, where silence reveals the truth.